working for the TSA.
Yes, ma'am.
Now that we're under the Department of Homeland Security. So, this is good news though, that says there's no felony convictions.
That's correct.
No misdemeanor charges even.
No, ma'am.
It's good, it's very, very good, very good. Be surprised what we see coming through here. I must ask you about this. It says here that you have a nickname. Could you tell me a little about that?
Well, sure. My friends call me Dick. But of course, for work,
Now, how exactly did you come by this nickname?
Well, nothing really. There were a lot of Richards in my class. There was, of course, Richard, and then Rich, Rick, Rico Suave. By the time it got to me, there weren't any other Dicks. I was the only one.
Not a very flattering nickname, though, is it?
I suppose not.
You suppose? I'm sorry, sir. You have to understand, this is not the kind of job for that kind of indecisive nature. I mean, people say that TSA stands for thousands standing around. We can't have that going on. You've got to realize you could be asked to judge potential threats in a moment's notice.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have to have some assurances about your discernment.
Of course.
Right. This really leads us to the more sensitive part of the interview, actually. Sometimes when we're screening passengers, things show up that subject a passenger to greater scrutiny. In short, they have to be patted down like prom dates in a shaggin' wagon.
Yeah.
It's a dirty business, Mr. David, but someone's got to do it.
I'll do it.
As you understand, we live in such a litigious society these days. It has become, unfortunately, impossible to allow our male TSA agents to screen the female passengers. It's very disappointing. And of course, for obvious reasons, we really can't have the female TSA agents patting down the male passengers.
Turnabout's fair play.
Right. So, the awkward situation we find ourselves in is that, job you're here to apply for might require you as a male TSA agent to pat down male passengers. So basically my question is, how familiar are you with the male genitalia?
I'm pretty familiar.
Okay, so would you say then that if called upon, you would be comfortable handling the male genitalia in a sufficient fashion to ensure the safety of the passengers?
That's what it takes to keep the passengers safe? Yes, ma'am.
I'm very pleased to hear that. But no racial profiling. That is something that we must be so cautious about. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of not discriminating on the basis of outward appearances, especially of a religious nature. Someone comes in a burqa, they're shouting, "Allah Akbar!" They go right in.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand?
I do.
It's very clear.
Very clear. With what I have to do to protect freedom is grope, fondle, violate, in some cases provide sexual fetish pleasure, to protect the rights of Americans. I'm up for that task.